Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, it's showtime. Again. Back. Alt server action. Did check on my characters on other servers to make sure everybody's got plenty of juice in the generators, so to speak. Yawn. One of my potential issues with the game is that it doesn't welcome breaks. If you take a break, everything's going to be gone. I mean, you want to take a month off because there's a couple other games coming out. Well, there's like a bank with a relatively small number of slots that can hold, your big stacks of materials to a limit. There's everything you can carry on you. And we've just about hit the limit of what there can be. Which means that after 20 days, it's the max you can have stuff cranked up to. Let's make sure. We can grab some additional water before we run out of harvesting time. We can get some at least. There's that right there. We're already harvested over a liter. We've just grabbed, I think we had like 3/4 of a liter, so we've grabbed another liter and 3/4. Flip. We are going to be heading west over to here, there, and continuing. We're going to be getting to the Western Vermilius. So we want the probe launcher and a probe. Wrong place, right place. Static compactor, probe launcher. And we need a probe. Not that kind of probe. It does have PvP. So there are shipwrecks on the map. And these are PvP areas. They're not necessary to go to. And then the deep desert, which is sort of theoretically the end game area, half of that is PvP. And that's the half that has the more of the materials that you would want to get from the end game stuff. So it is optional, but if you do PvP, there are advantages you gain from that. Or at least if you're willing to go into the PvP zone. I should be a little more specific. I need a probe. Let's make 2. So, for instance, I haven't PvP'd yet on any of my characters. I have a character who's like a level 160 something, I think. I haven't PvP'd at all. I've got friends who've done a little. I didn't get notified about the oncoming storm. Thanks. Okay, the storm has blown by. So there are advantages to going into PvP areas, but they're not insurmountable ones. That, on the other hand, having enough games is something I can completely identify with. Absolutely understand. A disease that many of us suffer from. Well, maybe not a disease, an infirmity. If you do like survival crafting games, though, it's very, very solid. Even has good story. So I've seen a lot of people who don't care for the PvP zone, but absolutely love this first area called the Haga Base, which is where basically you do most of your leveling up until you're ready for the game. Over here is where we need to drop off some poison. Now, I think there's another quest that goes there. I think I'll end up having to go back. Like, hey, Vorp, how you doing? How's the weekend? Pretty good. Tomorrow off to... Oh, very nice. That is the appropriate thing to do. I was a huge fan of taking at least one additional day when there was a 3-day weekend to stretch it out a little. I don't think they liked me. I wonder if it was something I said. Fine, we'll put away that. Get out of the sun for a second, so it doesn't bake our brains, such as they are. Alright, where's the other dead guy? Come on, I can't, like, steal his blood if he won't show up. Do I have the scanner? I have the scanner. I can scan this. Not scan. Scan. That's the ore. Oh, apparently he's gone. Oh, below. Oh, I know which one this one is. Yeah, not my favorite location in the game, gotta say. As I'm pretty sure I've got a second and maybe third quest that brings me back here. Which one? This is to open up the Mentat skills. You know, I can live without the Mentat skills until I get another quest for that same location. Because there's at least one, and I think at least two more that take me back there. But there's another quest on this big island of rock. There. Then we head west to the third trial and fourth trials of Akal. And this one is getting from the camp in Merzabah, right? Stealing from thieves. Let's find it in the not awesome. Stealing from thieves. Stealing from thieves. No. 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 Is it in here? Misclicked. Pardon me. Stealing from thieves. That's the one we want. All right. Oh. No. And having taken their goods, I'll now take their blood. So, life, goods, and blood. I'll leave them with their clothes. Because to not do so would be a little weird. Grab some water from our still suit. .153 meters, but below us. Locate a cache of goods, stolen goods, outside of Mirzabah. Above us. 100 meters away. .46 meters above. So, grappling hook time. Anybody down there? Let's pull out the scanner. There is at least one person. Wrong button. Right button. Got him. And got his blood. Don't see anything that looks like it could be the missing item. Contact the issuer. Anything else about here? Anything? No? No? We will contact the issuer. Hello, hey, look, I need to confess something. The item I sent you for doesn't exist. Eliminate 4 Kirab bandits. Well, I've just got to find some bandits in the general vicinity. Apparently he's not very picky over who he has his revenge on, just as long as they're bandits in Kirab. That's all that matters to him. See if we can find a couple. That's a player's house. That is another player's house. There should be a batch of at least a couple of them. There. Oh, more than just a batch. A bunch. And me. Without a sniper rifle. That's one. That's two. Can I get a couple more bandits, please? Come along now. Nothing to be afraid of other than an inevitable rapid death. I mean, at least I'll make it quick. Do a quick scan here. That was a grenade. I would rather not have any a close encounter with a grenade, because they hit really hard. Oh, I'm done. You wanted 4 of them dead? That's 4 of them dead. He wasn't picky about which 4 he wanted dead. I'm not going to be picky about which 4 are dead. Ah, yes, kill them like the vermin they are. You did good. Kirab, you can find any information with Kirab leaders are at Mirzabah right now. Another tier of the quest. Huh? Now there's 2 quests over there. But we are headed... that's a ding, level 27. Go me. Alright. So we are still in the eastern Vermilius Gap. We need to get to the western Vermilius Gap to a point high in the air and use the probe. Not that kind of probe. To scan the entire area and add it to the map. Oh, lots of flower sand over there. We are straight through. There are zones on the map, reddish, circle-ish shapes. And those will be problematic types of sand. Either drum sand, which is like a dinner bell for Shai-Hulud, or quicksand, which is like quicksand in the movies, but possibly worse. What I want, the journey is the third trial. Is that on the map? It's not, but I know where it is, roughly. That is a Sardaukar ship. Sardaukar are jerks. They scan. If you get hit with the light, they freeze you for a few seconds and drop a bunch of mercenaries to try and kill you. Distinctly unfriendly. We've got a buggy. A wrecked buggy. Armor plating, which I will need eventually. That's it. We got armor plating and then the scrap metal we can throw away as it's easy to get, kind of dead weight for us now. We've got a ways to go to the west to get to the third trial of Akal. And then we come back this way for the fourth trial. Eyes open for the Sardaukar ships. They haven't killed me yet, but that doesn't mean that they're not capable of killing me. Somebody else just wanted to shoot me a bunch. I denied them the pleasure of my lack of company. Oops. Wrong button. Well, right button. Wrong tool. It's good harvesting time for free water. Water becomes much less of a difficulty once you get the dew, at least at this level. Through the iron and then steel tiers, a couple of cisterns, and attention to always harvesting water when you can. Along with the occasional, blood that you've taken from the things you've killed. Into the blood filtration unit, and we're almost completely filled. Okay, where did I leave my And actually, it's not a bike. It's a trike. Third trial of Akal is over here somewhere. Was it up there? I can't remember now. I probably should check the map, my map. Interactive map someone created. Hold on. It's going to take me a minute. Hold on. Gotta find it. Gotta find it. Open it up. Come on. Scroll, 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 scroll. Holy crap. I think that's it. That's not it. Damn it. I want to make sure I'm in the clear here. You know, before I do anything, well, anything particularly dumb. That is what we're looking for. There it is. All right. All right, I've got it now. Let's see. We want to hide all and turn on the trials of Akal. I think it's further to the northwest. Yeah, it's over there somewhere. So what I need to do is be careful to not go into one of the bad sand areas. I am not feeling confident about this at all, gotta say. Alright, there's another. We've already got Shai Halud worm sign. Alright, now we turn due west. It's a little closer than I am comfortable with, gotta say. No problem. I was never concerned at all. Shai Halud's, he's a big softy once you get to know him. From the inside. The only time I've been eaten by Shai Halud in the game was intentional on my part. I think it's actually up here. So I created a character to sort of do a walkthrough on how to advance through the first part of the game. At the end of it, because I promised I would get eaten, I ran around with all of my clothing off, except of course a very sexy pair of shorts, and that's the only time I've been eaten. I am somewhat of a risk-averse gamer, so I have been pretty cautious about not getting myself et. It should be like right over there. was maybe the worst ever. There we are. We've got the third trial. Get the scanner back in place. Oh, that's right. We can do that from Mirza. No, not from Mirza. Maybe we can do that now. Let's swap in the probe launcher. I need 30 more meters. All right. We will get 30 more meters. I love when I get knocked backwards while I'm doing that. Oh, please, can we not? All right, 24 meters. That was not great. It was almost good, but not quite, actually. 3 meters. You've got to be kidding me. Still 3 meters. I hate you so much. All right, this one then. One meter. So I just need a flat spot where I can stand. That wasn't it. Oh, that was hilarious. I hope you're all enjoying this as much as I am. More meter. Oh, come on. Now I'm going to start baking because I'm in the sun. This is really annoying. This should... Yay. Oh, no. And I fell immediately. Because I overshot. I swear I'm not doing this on purpose, okay? I'm not intentionally being lame. I am being lame. Oh, come. Wow. I'm the worst gamer in the history of the world. And you're here to see it and confirm it. And we can't move until it finishes its scan, but it will open up the whole map area. Much of which we've already uncovered, but still. That's the scanner. 2, 1. There we we go, and ta-da, there it all is. Alright, now. Back to the trial of Akal. Get into some more shade here. Alright, Cave of the Lost Pilgrim. There are people in here who won't like us. This one has a shield. And also death. And also we hate the minigunners. At least these ones don't have shields yet. That will come later. Hey, it comes with a convenient hole. All right, we have all the blood we can carry. Do we have any chests full of goodies? Well, we have some water. We'll drink our fill from that. Oh, at least some goodies. We won't say no to those. Booby traps. Evidently, I was the booby. The third trial of Akal. But this one's been defaced.
Another altar destroyed by the Emperor's zealous dogs. So much wasted in the pursuit of this pogrom. So much lost. This altar seemed to depict Fremen being separated from their families. Enslaved? I could only decipher a few words. Slave cribs, Hajj, and oddly enough, the name of a planet. Bela Tigise.
So now we are off for the fourth trial of Akal, AQL, tough word. And that is inside the hammer itself in Merzabah. The hammer. It is in there at some point. Why is it still showing? Oh, I guess it is a trial. It's just not the trial I currently have selected. I'll buy that then. And you'll note the sun heat starts going down. Apparently, our trikes have air conditioning, which is cool. Literally cool, I guess. Where you need to stick to the edge of a big bunch of rocks until we have a straight shot across that is relatively short, so that we don't get et by the old man of the desert. One old man to another, I don't think I would like me. I don't know for sure. Maybe it's not that bad. I don't like any of the straight shots from here, actually. A little further south. And then we're going to have to, I think, make it a double whammy. We go to... I think if we go straight, we can get to there. And then we turn due west from there. Make sure. Due east, I think. Oop, that's dangerous. Not too bad. On the old worm sign meter. Player house. We are headed for the hammer. You can see it there in the distance. Merzbah. We're going to want to head to about there. Again, sticking close to the rocks, out on the open sand. Mr. Wormy gets grouchy. Got it the first time. Oh, you were referring to my getting an additional meter of altitude into 10 minutes of the worst gameplay in history? Yeah, that was it. We don't need that anymore, but we do want the scanner in place. And we just want to head straight across. And we know somewhere in here is the fourth trial of Akal. The trials of Akal are, in essence, reliving, remembering the trials the Fremen went through before they finally got to Arrakis. And it turns out Arrakis was the most hospitable place they got. And where exactly is the entrance for the fourth trial? Well, it's basically under the head of the hammer. At least the top of it. There's a lower down entry. And then you work your way all the way up to the top of Merzbah. The hollow hammer and the head of the hammer. These aren't the hammer. This is the place I earlier did the hunting for Kita. They will have respawned by now. I feel safe in saying that. Kirab, I think. I should know. Yeah, Kirab. That's the current gear tier I'm wearing. Is Kirab for both the still suit and the armor. And I do recommend, if you're a new player, that you will want to have a still suit for getting around in the world. And then armor. Because there are some places where the fighting is significant. I personally prefer the light armor. Because most of the trouble I have is with guys with knives and swords. Less so with the guys with guns. Once you get a shield, like I'm wearing, you can see the glowy blueness around me. Projectiles are less of an issue. Not an issue, but less. How we doing? Inventory is fine. Oh. People. Alright, this one's got a shield. Boot to the head. And a knife. Quick heal kit usage. I'm already a full up on blood, so all I can do is loot the bodies for goodies. Head of the hammer's up there. So where the hell's the entry? I'm sure this bridge is thoroughly to OSHA requirements. You know? The grappling hook is very satisfying piece of mechanical game implementation. It's fun to use. I'm going to actually get to the head of the hammer and then work my way down, because that's not the normal way of doing it, but I haven't found the entrance any other way, so here we are. Ah, here we go. Ruins. Fremen ruins. In the storyline, the general assumption is that the Fremen have been exterminated by the Sardaukar. But my assumption is just that they've gone to the south, and I bounced off again. God, it's just such an annoying mechanic when it goes like that. At the wrong time, if you bump into something, it will propel you backwards. If you're grappling. But my belief is that they have simply gone south and will get the Fremen in-game. I would like them as a faction. I think they're coming as a faction. What I would really like as a faction would be the Smugglers. Because right now there are two factions, Atreides and Harkonnen. I think the Smugglers would be ideal. Maybe later the Fremen. Oh, I'm sorry. At least I didn't wake them up, because nobody could do that. I mean, theoretically, you could take fresh tissue samples and stick them in the axolotl tanks, clone them on up.
Sector weather alert.
Into
A large
Golas.
sandstorm is approaching.
That's not great. Hopefully I am considered sheltered here, so. I'm considered enclosed. That's better than sheltered. That's Ding 28.
The Sayadina and I made the long climb to hang a new prayer flag today. What a marvel that even in her advanced years, the Reverend Dejana can still scramble up the rocks like a spider. The only pity is, the prayer flag was of our own making. It seems an age since any siege community has gifted us with a woven symbol of devotion. There are so few pilgrims these days. But we here stayed true to our history and our faith. Though the off-worlders daily encroach upon us with their mines and their harvesters. Though a growing rabble of Kirab grows even bolder around our borders. We will remain faithful until the day we proudly answer the 7 mystic questions and pass into paradise with joy in our hearts.
I'm going to inhale the spice. Kids, don't do drugs. You know, unless it's a life-enhancing and mind-expanding spice, like the spice melange from Arrakis, or vodka from Old Earth. Because drugs are bad. Except, you know, like medicinal drugs, which obviously can help save your life and stuff, so that would be good. I get to do some fighting. Everybody was Fremen fighting.
How do we honor the Creator? Ibn Kirtaiba.
Ibn Kirtaiba,
Our
indeed.
enemies are as blades of grass mown down. Do you understand, Wally?
Stop calling me Wally. Alright. Eventually we get beaten down, but then we get access to the 4th skill slot, which is cool.
And the words of the Kitan Alibar. Knowledge without action is empty.
Bila Kaifa. Ooh. Don't do that, dude. Sardaukar. Thought I had a funny helmet.
where the drums of war were instant, violence was the least, where denied us the fight, never to forget. The fire of God set alight, thine enemies shall fall.
And now, the fourth skill slot opens up for us after we finish off this bit. I will awaken prescience. Once you get enough spice in your system, you can awaken prescience and you become a freaking death machine. Plus, you get the cool visual of your glowy purple eyes. Ooh, boot to the head. Whirling dervish of death, that's me. Hear more.
How do we honor the Creator? We fight. Remember Salusa Secundus, Bila Kaifa.
And one of the worlds the Fremen went through on their long trip to get to Arrakis, eventually, was Salusa Secundus. Better known as the home of, well, the secret home of the Sardaukar.
Ibn Qurtaima, the fire of God set alight. How do we honor the Creator?
We fight.
We fight. Remember Salusa Secundus,
Bila
Bila Kaifa.
Kaifa. I will wake up. Wake up. Pardon the yawn. And now the third slot is open and I have access to the prescient state. We currently are in the or have access to the pristine state. We're not in it. The Z bar is completely full, which means that we can trigger it, and at that point, cooldowns on our skills are greatly reduced. We do more damage. We take a lot less damage. Basically, a lot of good stuff. Eobra has subscribed at Tier 1. Thank you very, very much. That is ridiculously kind. Thank you. Maybe you hit the button by mistake? That's probably it. I think there's like... Oop. There's extra goodies in here. I know that. There's a couple of boxes of goodies. And then there's one more at the very top of Mirzba. Did I miss anything below? I don't think I did. Alright, there's the first chest. Seriously, thank you very much for the sub. I really do appreciate that. It's a nice pat on the back. And we are now on top of the hammer. There is a chest over here. Plus, we can harvest this for Holtzman actuators, which is a crafting material, and scrap metal, which we can dump. Now, you do have to be careful getting off of it, as I almost died the first time because I almost ran out of power for my suspensor belt, which would have been bad. That's that. I need to find a little place with a little shade because the sun is starting to beat down on my pretty little head. Thank you, Yoke, very much. I don't think there is another chest here. I think it's just the one. But I am going to run around just to make sure. Pretty sure it's just the one. One below and one up here at the top. Whee! We will duck down into cover and clear our heat. Barely. We are halfway through of power. Okay. We took a small amount of damage, but that's fine. We have heal kits aplenty. Bandages. We have regained all of our power. And because I'm feeling my oats, we'll go ahead and grab the iron. We have 34 out of 35 items. And are close to being fullish, shall we say. Hey, fat buddy. All right, now we'll head to here and then back home. As we have completed the third and fourth trials of Akal, we have opened up prescient gameplay. We have opened up the third skill slot. Okay. I want to hit there, and we can head straight across. And as always, I am unable to mount up on my trike and not mentally start hearing Born to Be Wild by Steppenwolf. I just can't do it. Because I have to get my motor running, head out on the highway. We want to head more in that direction, I think. How's that look? Is that about right? It's pretty close. Plump. So close. And no worm. He's scared of me, Shiloh. He knows that he's the bigger worm, but I'm the bigger person. If you drink, don't drive. If you drive, don't dune bike. Trike. It's a trike. Oh, I hear Big Daddy. Honey, I'm home. Drop off some stuff. More stuff. Still more stuff. Oh, we don't have the armor plating in place yet. Fine. And do Reaper Mark II. We have a real one. The Hajra Leaderjohn Mark II. a medium blood sac. I only have smalls. Hey, let's not discuss the size of my sac, I think. Alright, we will deconstruct that and that. We'll hold on to that for now. Good. Don't have enough storage? Make more storage. Wrong button. Actually, not wrong button, wrong object. Right object. It's there. And those two we salvage. Or recycle. Well, what did I just accidentally destroy then? Did I not destroy two? I did. What did I destroy? I destroyed those fucking boots. God damn it. I clicked the wrong thing. I will once again return to my litany, not against fear, but my litany against this game's incredibly awful console and controller-centric user interface. The PC players are paying for it. Control Z. Yeah, that'll do it. Thanks for the reminder. Thanks for the not-so-gentle reminder. Kirab. Scout. Boots. I have enough ingredients I can now make a new pair. So that's the thing. All right. There is no way to lock items in your inventory so that you don't accidentally sell them, salvage them, put them away. I have brand new Kirab Scout boots, so now we have the entire Kirab Scout set for armor. Every survival game really does need an inventory lock. It's just ridiculous. Well, in this particular case, it's not just that it's a survival game or, something. No, it's specifically because this one has got a console/controller-centric user interface. That's why you only have 8 items in your hotbar. Probably also why they went with only 3 or possibly 4, depending on how you want to define it, skills that you can use. The uses for the E and F button in this game are either press or hold, and they're not consistent. And again, it would be consistent if we were playing the game with a controller. And the most particular egregious one is for choosing the tile set for construction. So, if you'll note, you hit R to bring up the selectable items. You have a top row, which is which set of tiles or cosmetics or whatever, which walls and items you want to make, stuff like that. That's the top row. The middle row allows you to look at what is in that. And then the bottom row is the favorites, which are always there. Now, you'll note, particularly, if you have a controller with a left joypad and a right joypad, having 2 independently scrollable horizontal selection UI elements makes sense. But in this case, you have the keyboard, and the top row uses the Z and C keys, whereas the bottom row uses the Q and E keys. So the top row uses the bottom keys, and the bottom row uses the top keys. This is a war crime. This is an F in any user interface, introduction to user interface and user experience design class that you could take at a junior college. This would be an F. It's just inexplicably awful. It's not that an incredible big thing, but it is just inexplicably bad and wrong-minded, and I don't like it. This has been my TED Talk. Let's craft some more iron. I should have... good, we have more intel. We need the Cut Array Mark II. And we're also going to need the Power Pack Mark II. Those are for sures. We're going to want the Medium Blood Sack and the Blood Extractor Mark II. I don't think we need anything else in the iron products in the way of weapons and armor just yet. Chest would be nice, but not necessary. The Leap Suspensor Belt. Can I make the Emperor's Wings yet? I don't know. Can I make the Emperor's Wings? I go here. I do have enough spice-infused dust and particle caps. I have two of them. Let's make one. But simple stuff is missing from a PC point of view. PC and mouse. Item lock for inventory. Anyone who's ever played an MMO is familiar with that function. And it's so straightforward. You know, all it needs is a little checkbox right here. Or right there, or anywhere. Emperor's Wings. I do like the passive one, but I gotta play around with the Emperor's Wings, I think. And I guess the thing that bothers me most about this, and obviously it bothers me a lot, 3,200, is the PC players are footing the bill right now for the development on the consoles. Yeah. That ought to do. It's one of my biggest complaints about PC gaming these days, is how often the PC game is made worse for the PC player because they don't want to do multiple designs, and so they bow to the mobile or console game and make everything work for them and then do minimal additions for the PC. If it's a PC game and they port it over to console, you better believe they're doing a complete revamp on the UI because they have to. But you could do the same thing if you're developing it for console and PC. You can do two different UI designs. You just have to hire a second UI designer. And if a game like this one has made, I don't know what, 60 million? More. It's probably made 100 million for him by now. You know, $50, less the 15% on Steam. $35. I'd say it's made 70 million. They could afford 100K, 150K to hire a PC UI designer, even if it's just on contract basis for this game. But they hate freedom. And me, specifically me. The Cutter Ray Mark II, capable of mining carbon. Yes, so we'll be able to make steel. Yes, this is good. We need this. Because we need to be able to mine carbon so that we can make steel, the next tier. Like it's a very, very common, if not ubiquitous mechanic from survival crafting games, is the sort of tiering that you have to tier up, and that the tiers get a little bit more grindy with each as they go along. Don't object to that. Is it water harvesting time? Not yet. All right, that's purifying away. Well, let's grab some more mats, because we're going to need them sooner or later. Oh, I forgot. I no longer have the passive suspensor belt. I have to press the button to get the Emperor's wings to work. This will kill me. I have little doubt of that. The passive one is great early game. And it still has its advantages in that it's kind of, you wear it and you can forget about it. It doesn't go off until you're falling at a speed that will hurt you. But the Emperor's wings have got more functions. However, more functions. But not that one. So you have to be paying attention. Now. I think that's more copper. We can use some more copper. It's inexpensive to make the small storage bins. Oh, please. Off we go. Ooh. Nice auroras tonight. Sardaukar. Sardaukar. I think that will be our first successful carbon node. There it is. Pick up the little bits first, and then carbon me. Another ornithopter. So more Holtzman actuators. Don't need the scrap metal, but we can always use the Holtzman actuators later. Go ahead and drop the scrap metals. We don't need that. And it's actually pretty heavy. Firstly, I'm not sure what kind of carbon formations these are that look like crystal, ice, or something. But evidently, that's carbon. Who would have known? Not I. That whole building just vanished. It's back. It vanished. It's back. Now I'm official. I'm tripping balls. Okay. I'm sure I'll be fine eventually. Put the Dew Reaper back in the 7 slot. This one give us armor, I think. Yeah, armor plating. And again, we drop the salvage metal. Don't much care for the salvage metal. A lot of people were, I don't understand, the game's going to be ugly if it's nothing but desert. You know, it's really good. Now, granted, it is very large amounts of a whole lot of desert. I think it made it very nice. Environmental work has been spot on, I would say. It feels like, low fuel, fortunately. I was carrying some. We still have about a third of the fuel we're carrying left. I think they've done a great job in visualizing and representing at least this much of Arrakis. The general consensus about the game is that Haga Basin is, which is the primary PvE zone, and where you're certainly going to be doing the majority of your time until you get to endgame stuff, is really, really well done. It's like, you know, they realized, hey, we've got one of the all-time great IPs. Let's try to not screw this up. Now, the deep desert has its issues, for sure. But I'm at like 190 hours in the game since it's come out. In what? A little over a month? Now, I am not one of the many detractors of Funcom. Their games have always had a certain amount of jank, and Joel Bylos even mentioned when talking about this game that, you know, Funcom has a reputation for, you know, interesting games and game systems and a significant amount of jank. There's some jank in this, particularly early on in the melee combat. And certain situations still later on with the melee combat. Fighting against multiple people at once can feel, you get sort of the jankage. Go ahead and deposit all the water we're carrying so that we can run out. and harvest more. Because due harvesting time, in the upper right, you can see the little half a dial. We're getting close to daylight, but just before dawn is the best time for harvesting. So that right there was half a liter. Almost filled up with 2.5 liters. That's it, 2.5 liters. And we're in dead perfect time right now. That last little wedge of light blue in the little meter in the upper right means that now is the best time, just before sunrise. And once again, I didn't use the Emperor's wings. All right. I will drink from the catch pockets in my still suit. That's why you will run around in a still suit. You lose less water and you recapture some. Let's make some steel. We can make 54. We use all of our carbon. Well, how about we make a nice round number of 50? Not 509, 50. See what we've got. We have 24 intel. We need to spend 15 more to unlock the next tier. Right? Unlocked until we spend 85 to open up the steel products. So it's 15 more? 15 more. I like to keep that to the absolute minimum. All the blood extracting stuff would qualify. We'll go with that. Blood extractor Mark II. Improved blood purifier. And the medium blood sac. Alright. New schematics available, 34. What we're looking at making and want to make is the Artisan Jabal Spit Dart, a sniper rifle that makes a lot of the game much easier. It allows you to pick off unshielded enemies at long range with a single shot. If you headshot them. But it requires the weapons fabricator to make. Weapon fab is 5. Well, we can at least research that one. Weapons fab, weapons fab. So we can make the weapons fab, or we'll be able to soon. We will need complex machinery. All right, well, I know where I can get complex machinery. There's a particular location where it's relatively easy to get. Don't have to fight a bunch of mobs, only a few. And it's usually good for 30 to 35. It's down here. And then we'll have to see what we need to actually get to make. Be able to make the weapons fab. See what is required for us to then make the spit dart, as it just makes the PvE experience much easier. Especially because I have a quest to go to Imperial Testing Station 10, which is a fucking murder circus if you don't have it. There's a room in there with like 20 mobs scattered around on 2 layers, 2 levels. So if you work your way around, one level to the other, picking off the mobs as you go, it is manageable. Without it, it's bad. My first trip in there, I died a bunch. Primarily not my fault, as I was going through it, as it's the second one you do. You go do one in sort of the starting area, one of the Imperial testing stations, and this is the second one you get a quest for. Problem with it is I'm going through it and saying, wow, the other one had a bunch of mobs. This doesn't have any. Okay, this is fine. Yeah, this is fine. Respawns. Yeah, this is not fine anymore. I'm dead. Who's that? Him. Swap to the blade. Oh, that's really bad. Okay, survived. I was out of stamina. Out of stamina was not a good time to be out of stamina. Alright, we grab the ID badge so we can get into the place with all of the complex machinery. Two or possibly 3 more mobs outside. Also, it's possible that one of those 2 or 3 will be inside. Yep, there they are. They're coming out.
I see someone.
Flying knee kick. Looks like a charm. I think that's it. Just up here. Regular goodies. This is the first one that's going to have some of those complex machinery bits. Space? Okay. Some space. I don't think we're going to get enough. Yeah, we got like 26 or something like that. 27. That's disappointing. I'm disappointed. Perhaps you can tell by the disappointment in my voice that I'm disappointed. And there is another chest that's up on top that I normally skip because it's very difficult to get to. But otherwise, we have to come back another time. Nope, doesn't have the goodies we're looking for. The complex machinery. Drat. All right, well, we got 27 out of the 30 we need. We'll have to come back another time. I think there's any more tucked away anywhere. No. Next time. You know, if you don't have the passive dispenser belt, you better pay attention. Because the alternative is pain. Let me go that way. These are NPCs fighting NPCs over there. But if you get too close, they will happily open up on you. Sure. Oh my god, am I going completely the wrong way? Don't be like me. At least I was smart enough to look, not smart enough to go the right way, but smart enough to check. So we can't quite make the weapons fab. Quick check and see how we're doing on the other mats that we'll need for the spit dart. Spit dart is also nice in that it's poison. So if you try to shoot him in the head and let's say you miss, because you're bad at games. Even if you don't one-shot him, the poison will often finish him. Honey, I'm home. Yeah. Carbon ore. Copper ore. Why didn't the copper ore go? We are missing the fibers. Right, that was 27. So when we get the 3 more complex machinery pieces, we'll be able to make heavy darts, which is what the spit dart uses. And the spit dart itself, which I will also need, what, 6 more intel points for? Yeah, 6 more. I have got all the mats for. So the complex machinery, we need 3 of that. We need 6 more intel points, and then we can make the spit dart. So we've opened up the steel tier, and we're just starting to poke at that. Steel tier also opens up the buggy. Need the buggy and the buggy cutter ray. Partly on again, my god. And I don't think that Mark III cutter ray is good enough to make the cobalt paste, to cut cobalt. I don't think my current Mark II does. Oh, it does. Erythrite. Okay. But I don't think the cutter ray Mark III for the buggy actually does do erythrite. I could be wrong. That one also, yeah, the Mark IV gets basalt and aluminum and higher efficiency with erythrite and carbon. But if we check the buggy Mark III cutter ray, carbon and erythrite, okay, it does. With much higher. But that's, you need to get the erythrite to get the cobalt. It's the only way you can get the cobalt paste, which is required for a bunch of stuff. It's one of the sort of bottlenecks. And that forces you to go into the rift, which like starts here, Hagar Rift, and goes all the way like up here and then to the left. Yep, that's Helios Gate. And that's Imperial Testing Station number 10, which I do not want to go anywhere near until I have got the spit dart. I wouldn't want to try it without the spit dart. Interesting. There are 2 things of should be. I guess I just haven't spotted. There's the Southeast Ironworks. There are 2 entrances, 2 different sort of complexes. The one I just did for complex machinery, but there's another one over here that has a lot more dudes. Unfriendly dudes. I might note that they are not friendly dudes. They are quite unfriendly dudes. But I think I'm going to call it here for the evening. I want to thank you guys, as always, for hanging out. I really do appreciate it. Any skills? I got a lot of skill points. Where can I put more skill points? Let's see. Disciplined breathing. Stamina recovery rate. Yes, please. That's a good one. Max stamina. Yes, please. Desert conditioning. Train yourself to deal with the rigors that decreasing your max stamina loss while dehydrated. I'm seldom dehydrated if I'm, playing as if I have a functional brain. So that's kind of iffy. Realistically. Sorry, excuse me. Alright, Ben and Gesserit we've not opened up yet. Planetologist we have. Vehicle repair. Eventually I will need that one. We'll go ahead and spend a point now. Dew gathering. Not really a big deal for me. Now that I can gather dew, an extra 10% is... Power regen. It's probably good. Maximum power. Also good. Bonus yields with the cutter ray, sure. I have not finished the Mentat yet. I do have the Trooper, who's super and duper. I'm not a fan of techniques like this one, where it has a bonus and a minus. I find them irritating. Alright, I think that'll do. Spent some points. We're better at stuff than we were. An unfixed curse knife. All you have to do is get eaten by a worm. Does huge amounts of damage. Breaks. But it does do a huge amount of damage for that one attack you make with it. Alright. I'm going to call it. Again, thank you guys very much for hanging out. I should be back tomorrow at the usual time of about 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern, middle of the night in Europe, morning in Asia, Australia, and New Zealand. I'm thinking probably more with this character. I might play some more this evening on this character. But I have other characters. I might want to play one of them. Who knows? I can't tell you. Because I don't know. But I will be back tomorrow. Assuming natural occurrences don't get in the way. Or unnatural ones, for that matter. Again, thanks for hanging out. Hopefully you'll see me soon. Have a great rest of your day, evening, morning, afternoon. Choose one or more. And I'll catch you next time.